But the drug bosses don't live here, but in the United States, in Miami, in Madrid, in Paris, in Dubai, as many times as it has been said, and they're not caught, their monies are not chased, they live a normal life because they don't go against the money of drug traffickers. They're not going against drug traffickers, they're going against the things. That's what was called fetishism. Those are fetishes. And what we're going to talk about here is an advice of the anti-drug trafficking politics that I want that to be the name in Colombia, against drug trafficking, against drug traffickers. And the news appeared that a director of the DNI was talking in the United States before I traveled, and he said, their foreign ministry said, and the subject was the precursors of fentanyl that passed through Colombia. That's what they said. And we hadn't said that we're going to prohibit that. Who said that? Why? So I want to know if those are lies from Americans who want to hurt Colombia, or if there's any truth in there. That is a lie. President, and we haven't. I wasn't referring to you. It could have been someone else. I'm very sure that no. Who is our delegate of the DNI in our embassy in the United States? There's a general in the embassy, president, but he has not said that either. With certainty, I say that, President. He hasn't said it, nor has he received any information on the subject. We're going to change all of those delegates, I agree. I believe that none of them should go to the United States. If we do the things wrong, it's because we have been trained wrongly, and that needs to be changed. If they want it like that, then that's how it would be. It's with everything. They decertified. They didn't decertify the president. They decertified Colombia. If they want to change the speech, the only country that put hundreds of thousands of dead people trying to get the cocaine not to go into the United States. So we have to put our heads down when we do that. And I need confirmation to know if it's a lie from them or if there's any truth. I had a meeting with General Agapito, the general who was the commander of the Army of the United States in the Pacific. Some of you were with me during that time. We had a champagne glass because he is from Italian descent, so his last name is Aquilino, not Agapito. We became friends, sort of, and we coincided that the most important thing was peace. I won't talk anymore because maybe he's kicked out as well. General Aquilino is in Pearl Harbor. It's the island where they strangely took me when I left China, because there's a foreign ministry here that is ashamed of having a relationship with China, and they sabotage the relationships. So I want relationships with all of the people of the world, not just one. So that's relationships with humanity, not colonialism. The change in the personnel of the Chinese embassy that sabotages the relationships, change my agendas. cancel my appointments without us knowing. And that's why I went to see Aquilino, and that wasn't a mistake, because we realized we think the same. Cocaine does go through the Pacific. It goes first to Australia, but it has already reached China and India, and it also goes into Russia and probably Japan. How do they do that? It's not through planes. It's through boats. You would need a very powerful airplane to cross without any scales, and if it's a small plane, it would be worse. That's why there should be a treaty, let's look for it, between the United States, China, Mexico, Colombia. That I wish had as a center Pearl Harbor in the search of a vigilance of the Pacific Ocean, because cocaine goes through there and some other materials to make fentanyl. I don't cross that possibility. North Americans take it as an excuse to break the relationships and isolate, but let's investigate them. And we have to do it between the 4 countries in the minimum, and that doesn't move forward. And that was what we talked about with General Aquilino. And now they're blaming us that the materials to make fentanyl are going through Colombia, when we were the first ones to say let's stop any possibility by vigilating the containers on the ships. And we know that the Buenaventura port is where they go through, and I'm not very sure about Tumaco. And I asked Gina for a change, and that is not happening. Was it done? Tomorrow we will show you the strategies. I saw the program of the ports of Shanghai, and I thought that it was excellent because it is artificial intelligence in a way we can't be sure. The human error for greed for the port of Buenaventura has happened over and over again. The ports of Colombia can't be the exportation ports of cocaine or of entry of weapons or the entry of clothes that are ruining the Colombian industry, or the entry of these kinds of things that they say that are happening. And Inas, you should answer. Yeah. I don't want to repeat it. It's not with the Americans or with the Chinese. If the Chinese know about it, then train yourselves with the Chinese. We don't belong to NATO. So, Foreign Minister, we are not from the North Atlantic, we are from the South Atlantic, and our land has the name of the Caribbean Sea. So the military relationships shouldn't follow the commercial relationships. So the organization wasn't created to defend the North Atlantic of the Nazis. That's why that organization was created. So why would we change the founding facts of the Nazis, which means of criminals against humanity? If a government of the North Atlantic decides to be an ally of the crimes against humanity, what are we doing there? These are drastic measures, but I believe that we have to take them now. We don't look for them. They were looked for us because we're not people who bend their knees. Never did Bolivar force a soldier to bend their knees. And we are the sons of Bolivar, and the army and the continuance of the liberating army, whose last general never bended the knee but was murdered in Chiapas and was the only indigenous president, General Jose Maria Melo. We are descendants of General Jose Maria Melos, the last general of the libertarian army, whose body still lies in Chiapas, and we haven't been able to